Welcome back. 8 months ago, Ukraine saw an attack from the Russian military, and shortly after the invasion, people across the world rallied in support of the country. Responding to the humanitarian crisis facing Ukraine, the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and several other organizations have sponsored hashtag Pianos for Peace, a musical jam and fundraiser aimed at supporting those affected by the war. Joining me to discuss Pianos for Peace is a co-host of the musical jam, Gregory Tsougranis, and concert pianist Alex Pryodny and Anna Shelest. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Gregory, we're going to start with you. Can you just actually tell us, what is Pianos for Ukraine or hashtag Pianos for Peace?
Okay, so what this is an event to shed some light on the war going on in the Ukraine. It might be far away from many people. However, you know what, this is a disastrous event which is affecting millions of lives. So because I'm on different boards and I have associations with different people, and I also was lucky enough to know Anna and some of the other pianists, I said, why don't we get some organizations together to shed some light on what's going on, the war, the horrors, so that people can be aware of it and people can help. So the four organizations are the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Bronx School for Music, the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association, which we call the HEPA, my Bronx chapter that I'm part of, and since I'm a realtor, also the National Association of Realtors. So it's four foundations of four pianists. They're advocating and raising funds for four worthy organizations.
Now, Alex and Anna, I know that you were both born in Ukraine, so I'm sure this hits very close to home. Anna, we'll start with you. Can you just talk about what's happening over in Ukraine right now?
Well, Ukraine is at war with its neighboring country. I was born in the city of Kharkiv. It's the second largest city in Ukraine. It's very close to the Russian border. And our town is being shelled every day. Every day you can think there are terrorist attacks on the city, on civilians, on children, on people who just want to stay and live peacefully. I must say that this is the worst time of my life. I think for most Ukrainians, they can say the same. It doesn't matter where we live, whether we're in Ukraine or whether people are refugees now or Americans like myself. I did not feel any kind of physical discomfort from this war because I live in the United States, but I think it's emotional and just the horror of being worried for our families. It's really real. And I think with this event that we're going to have tomorrow, one of the maybe hopeful messages of it is that we'd like for people to associate Ukraine also with beautiful things, with music, with things that we can enjoy. So when this war is over, we can finally start seeing the beauty and peace that Ukraine can contribute to the world.
Now, Alex, prior to this interview, you mentioned that you have family displaced by the war. Can you talk about, just what's going on there and how it's affecting people, both, here or, people who have family members in Ukraine?
Yes. So I've been in the United States actually for quite some time, since 2001. But I have a lot of family that's still in Ukraine. We keep in touch. And I actually grew up, I was born in Kiev, but I grew up in the eastern part, which is currently occupied. So for me, the war really started in 2014. When my city where I grew up became occupied, and I realized that I might never be able to go back to the place where I grew up in. Of course, since February, we just felt a sense of shock and sadness, and for a while we were almost frozen. We didn't know what to do, but I just realized that we need to use our talents. We need to use whatever voice we have to present a case for Ukraine in the world, to present some positive case, to to present Ukrainian music and Ukrainian art and our culture, and show that we kind of deserve a place in the world, and that we refuse to be erased from the map. So I think that's what this event is about, in addition to raising money, which is of course also very important.
So the event will have 4 organizations that will, just support different areas or different needed areas that need support. Gregory, can you tell us about the 4 organizations that were highlighted, and what made them stand out and make an excellent fit for this event?
Okay, I totally believe in a grassroots up approach to everything. All right, this is just basically small people doing big things. So I told the artist, you know what, I'm not going to try to say you have to do, to do any kind of support for this organization or that organization. I said, pick an organization that you feel is doing the best for your people and for humanity. So the first one is Razam for Ukraine. I was told about what they do. One thing that they're doing is they're building bomb shelters for people who have bombs being rained on them. Then I did somewhat ask or put the Greek Orthodox Fund for Ukraine, because I am Greek Orthodox and I don't want this war being done in my name. And a lot of people don't know the whole politics of the region, but the Greek Orthodox Church, the second the war broke out, gave $100,000 from our archdiocese here in America, and they pledged $1 million. So this is our way of just getting, getting a little bit of support from not just Ukrainians, but the world structure, the world community out there, because it's not just about the Ukraine; it's about all of us also. The other organization is called Revived Soldiers for Ukraine, which just bought some medical equipment as well as ambulances. And then there's also the Ukraine Children's Action Fund, which basically is helping the children deal with the mental trauma of war. So these are all gold-rated not-for-profits picked by the pianists, the artists themselves. Each of them has websites, and if you go on our website, we built a landing page for this, you could learn more about it. But I encourage everyone. A big part of what we're doing today is not just supporting in terms of financial support, but also letting people understand who are the organizations that these artists who are affected by the war picked in order to best support boots on the ground efforts to help the children and also the adults.
Now, Alex and Anna, we know that you guys have both picked an organization. Can you quickly just tell us, what made that organization stand out to you or why you chose them? And Anna, we'll start with you.
Thank you. Well, for me, what was so incredibly moving during these months of the war is to see not only Ukrainians come together, but to see other communities, people who might never really took interest in Ukraine before this war. Suddenly, they really have such strong sense of being able, they want to help. And the fact that Gregory, who's my friend, he's Greek, and the Greek community has been so incredibly supportive of Ukraine. I thought it would be kind of a meaningful way for us to present this solidarity at this event, and for me to play for the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America.
And Alex, can you quickly tell us just, why you chose the organization that you did?
Yes, my organization is called Razam for Ukraine. So the word Razam means together, it's together for Ukraine, and it's a wonderful organization that actually branches into a lot of directions. They help refugees directly. They are on the ground in Ukraine as well as here. And one of the important things they do is advocacy here in the United States and in Europe. They organize events and demonstration and cultural events, and sometimes they speak directly with politicians who make those decisions. So, when we talk about things like helping Ukraine close the skies so that we are not getting bombed, the civilians are not getting bombed, it takes advocacy, it takes a real effort here. So, and Razam is one of the best organizations at at kind of creating this narrative that we need to help Ukraine and we need to protect our people.
Now, I think this is a really amazing event, and I love that you mentioned that you want to highlight the culture as opposed to kind of spotlight the violence or some of the negativity that's happening. It's a moment to kind of celebrate Ukraine. Gregory, can you tell us how people can learn more about this event?
Sure. Can I tell the date and everything? Because it's basically tomorrow or Wednesday from 6 to 7. We have a mixer. Everyone is welcome. We have a landing page that you could go on and you could purchase a ticket beforehand. We do have a flyer up, I assume, but it's bar9newyork.com/pianos/for/peace.com. All right, and starting at 7 o'clock, we're going to have the pianists come up, talk about their organization that they want to support, and they'll play for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll end the night with basically education for the public so they can be aware, and also doing some good for humanity. Right? I don't know what else I could say. I do want to say that this is an international event. Please do support it by coming, by joining, calling up anyone that you want to invite, any elected officials to come down and speak to the pianists and the organizations, and just being aware more of our community and our global community.
All right. I want to thank you all so much for joining me to talk about this.
Thank you for having us.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
Do you have a second? So I just want to say that, it's up to us to take responsibility for our crazy world that we are in right now. And this is somewhat of a responsibility for all of us. We mentioned the Greek Orthodox Church and Greece. We would have never gained our freedom if it wasn't for the Panhellenes that came and helped us, which included people from all over the world. Even Haiti gave 25 boatloads of coffee to raise funds and to help us gain our freedom. So when people are struggling for freedom, this is a small opportunity to lend a helping hand to people fighting for themselves, to uplift themselves for freedom. That's my take on this.
All right. Once again, thank you all for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for our show today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and yours safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.